Welcome to Martial Arts Swap Chat. I'm your host, Master Zang, and today's episode is based off of karate. But I have special news today. We're gonna put a twist to our episode, and we're gonna actually spin it twice. So you're gonna get 2 for 1 today. So we're gonna spin it one more time, and we're gonna actually feature 2 martial arts in one show. So let's spin it and find out. So we have karate, and karate will be matched up with Tang Soo. So karate and Tang Soo. Stay tuned for our show. Today's an awesome episode. Not only are we going to talk about one martial art, we get 2. So it's the 2 for 1. We're going to talk about karate and Tang Soo. We have special moves of the day. We also have the famous kimchi challenge, and we have a special surprise challenge for you at the end. So stay tuned. Let's start with our special guest. We have legendary Grandmaster Joe Goss.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, sir. And we have his son, who's also a successful competitor, owns a school. He's been around too. He has great success in Tang Soo. Master Joe Goss. Thanks for coming, sir.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so I think it's pretty awesome that we have a father-son duo. I mean, I have kids, and I hope some of my kids.
I have kids too.
Yeah, all right. And I hope they, pass the torch. So this is really special for me. Real quick, let's start with karate. Okay, so we're going to be talking about karate and Tang Soo. Grandmaster Goss, he is the wisest here. He's been doing martial arts since when did you start, sir?
1962.
1962. So you're pretty much a pioneer then.
Well,
in a good way.
In
Yes,
my
sir.
area, I was. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
When I started, if you would have said karate, well, I'll give you an example. I told a classmate that I was taking judo and karate at the YMCA. And he said to me, well, I know what judo is, but I've never heard of karate. They had never heard of the word. And on the West Coast, it might have been different, but generally, it was completely unknown.
That is amazing. 1962, guys, they didn't even know the word karate. So now everyone says karate.
And judo was judo chop. I mean, they didn't know anything really about judo. Just Austin Powers judo chop.
Yes,
is what they thought of when you said judo. And they were actually confusing the pseudo that comes from karate to having to do with judo because they had no clues what that was.
Yes, sir. So can you tell us the origin of karate, a little bit about karate?
Yeah. Well, all linear martial art generally, the textbook version is that it started in China and then it spread through the rest of the East. Linear karate as we know it, and linear martial art, whether it's Tang Soo or Taekwondo, this came from Okinawa. And the Okinawans practiced it, and Okinawa's a very, very small place, it's not very big. And they developed their hands and feet in the weapon and developed certain techniques so that they could defend their king. Because the king, in a very bad move, went and banned weapons on the island, took all the swords, spears, that sort of thing, locked them up in a warehouse, and because he wanted to ensure that somebody wouldn't overthrow him. And then when Okinawa got invaded by the Japanese, back in the days of the samurai, they had no way to stop them. So then the king of Okinawa became just a figurehead. And it was that way up until about 1903, I think. In 1921, Gichen Funakoshi introduced karate into Japan.
So is he the founder of karate then?
Yeah,
they came up with the name?
He's considered to be the, originally it was called Tode-do. And the Tode-do character is the way Tang Soo is written in Chinese. The Chinese characters for Tang Soo is pronounced Tode-do. in Japanese.
Sir.
So at one point they wrote it that way. They wrote it empty hand weight first, then they wrote Toredo, and then they went back to the empty hand weight. But some of Gichin Funakoshi's first Dan certificates have it written in Chinese the same way we write Tang Soo today.
Okay, wow.
And, and then the Koreans got it from the Okinawans as well. Then the Koreans added their own techniques, like a back wheel kick.
Mm-hmm.
When I started, no one did back wheel kick. You rarely did a back kick, spinning anyway.
Sir.
And then later, the Koreans introduced it.
And that's what we're going to get into at Tang Soo. So karate started in Japan, or Okinawa.
Okinawa.
And Okinawa is the South Island below Japan.
The Ryukyu Island chains below Japan.
Yes, sir. And does karate mean something? Is that a Japanese word for, what does it mean? The word karate.
The way it's written in Japanese or in Chinese characters today, it means the way of the empty hand.
The way of the empty hand.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you don't use weapons. Right. That means that the empty comes from a Buddhist concept of emptying yourself in order to receive knowledge.
Ah, yes, sir.
Okay. And the Tang Soo Do was a little bit, well, that, like I said, that was the original way it was written until they changed it to mean empty. Tang Soo Do meant the way of the Chinese hand.
The way of the Chinese hand. No, where does Tang Soo Do? Because the viewers probably don't even know it. Maybe they don't know what Tang Soo Do is. So where is Tang Soo Do? Where does it originate? And
well, it came from the Okinawans as well. At this isn't commonly known, but in 1905, when the Japanese had a war with Russia, they took over Korea, Manchuria, and the peninsula that comes down off of the continent that belonged to Russia. And they had that up until the end of World War II. Mm-hmm. So you had Okinawans going to Korea and China, and so they spread what they did.
Right.
Grandmaster Hwang-gi was friends with Gogen Yamaguchi, who was the founder of the Goju-Ryu system. They were both worked on the railroad, from my understanding.
No, Grandmaster Hwang-gi, is it Ki?
Yeah, Hwang-gi.
Hwang-gi.
Yeah.
So he came up.
He founded Tang Soo Do Mudokwon.
And he came up with the name Tang Soo Do?
Well, Tang Soo Do is just simply the reading of those three Chinese characters.
Okay. So he formatted the art.
What they did was the Koreans took a lot of the Japanese martial art they learned, especially the hand technique, stances and such, and combined it then with kicking technique indigenous to the Korean people.
Right.
So yeah, and that's basically what Tang Soo Do is.
So we had a guest, a lot of the guests, we don't talk about the history of martial arts, but it sounds like karate, Tang Soo Do, they're all kind of coming from the same place, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would say maybe China, right? Or a mix of Japan and China and Korea.
There were a lot of the early Okinawan masters would be considered the people who founded karate-style martial art, had gotten training that came out of southern China. They had trained in White Crane Kung Fu, is an example of that. And then they kind of changed what they were taught there and combined it with some indigenous Okinawan martial art, and that's basically karate.
So that's a big difference between Tang Soo Do and karate is the kicking then.
Yeah, well, especially years ago.
It used to be.
It used to be, but not anymore. I went to a training camp in Philadelphia that Master Okazaki conducted. It was a week long. We trained for a week, and there were other Japanese instructors there. And at that time, that was in the 70s, I think. And at that time, I remember watching a couple of the Japanese masters practicing back wheel kick.
Right.
Now, when I trained in California, I would go to Nishiyama School on Olympic Boulevard in LA. And when I trained there, we never did a back kick spinning. We were taught never turning to turn our back to our opponent.
Right.
So it was basically front kick, reverse punch, side kick. If you back kicked, it was because someone was behind you and you were going to kick them.
Right.
You didn't do a spin back kick. And so it changed just in that time period. That would have been about 65 to the 70s, where they were, because people aren't stupid.
Well, they adapt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it works.
they go to a tournament and they see maybe Taekwondo people out there, and they're hitting people with back wheel kick, and they say, "Oh, that looks pretty good. I'll try that." And then, like Master C.S. Kim always told me, if he sees something good, then he's going to do it too.
Right. So you could honestly say you've seen the martial arts evolve, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's in a good way, and sometimes maybe not in a good way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, as technique-wise, I would say that today, the people who compete today are much better than the people who competed years ago. They're much faster and cleaner technique and everything.
Right.
And I don't think someone like say Chuck Norris would even argue that, because he started back then too. He was back in the 60s, and if you can watch video from back then of people spar compared to video of people today, they're much.
I just watched some earlier today.
Oh, did you
Chuck
really?
Norris. I did.
I thought he was pretty good.
I was watching him fight, but I was thinking that I think if you somehow time traveled somebody from now, a tournament competitor now, a good one, to back then, he would have done very well for himself.
Right.
The guy from today would have done very well.
Now, that being said, Chuck Norris didn't wear pads too.
No,
pads they were invented in the 70s, right? Or 80s. So maybe the toughness, Chuck Norris could still.
No, he beat a lot of people.
Right.
He did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But as far as pads, I remember back when they started wearing like shin pads. First pads that I ever wore, they protected your shin and instep, and they were made of cloth. I don't know if you remember the old cloth with the foam in it. And then they went just on the forearm. So I got some. My students wanted them. And
was it like cutting edge? You're like, oh, we gotta try these.
It's like the one guy, he throws a punch and the other person blocked.
Right.
And we blocked hard, punched hard, blocked hard. So you always had lumps,
Right.
And one student said to me, "Wow, it doesn't hurt." I said, "Yeah." I said, back in my day, what we used to protect us was called skin. And it didn't work well,
Right. So
it wasn't very efficient, skin. I'm not even to this day, we don't, at the school, when they spar, they don't wear pads. Right. It's just, and I'll tell you what happens when you don't wear pads. You don't have people beating the crap out of each other.
Right.
And you don't have people hitting each other. You put pads on them, pretty soon they start, and then the technique goes downhill when they wear pads.
Right.
When they don't wear pads, their technique's a lot cleaner.
Yes, sir.
You were telling me about some MMA guy who would like to see no gloves.
A lot of them are talking about wearing their gloves just so that punching becomes cleaner, and you wouldn't see as much of it. So there's less head trauma, is what you're talking about. Yeah.
No, I mean, I thoroughly enjoy watching two traditional martial arts use control, but you could see if they didn't have the control, it'd be very dangerous.
Right.
So, now, real quick, just to wrap up this portion, I just think it's so unique that. So he started in 1962. 1962, guys. Do the math. That's amazing. He's watched martial arts just evolve into something completely different, right? And here his son. You probably started when you could walk, right?
I was always at the dojang. I was raised in one because the way the dojang's set up, our house was right next door. So, it was not only where I went to train, but I have to admit, as a real little kid, I did a lot of playing in there too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you probably had a lot of people that they like to play with you and hang out with you.
Yeah, no, we have photographs of me before I actually started officially training. Somebody holding something for me and I'm round kicking it, and and they'd teach me things like that. And,
At the time he started, I had both judo and karate taught at my school.
Wow.
And I had two judo instructors teach it. Although I have a black belt in judo, I had that class actually going on the same time as my karate class.
Wow.
So
You know, we have a photograph of him teaching me how to break fall, and I must have been like 3 years old. But it's good I got started then, because Lord knows he's thrown me around enough over the years that, you know what I mean?
He's prepping you for those demonstrations, those lessons.
Hey, I needed someone I could bounce off of.
Now, wait, like, what is it like doing martial arts that long, and now you see, I mean, your son's an adult, and he's had great success.
He's an old man.
Yeah, he's an old man. So how do you like? I mean, can you tell us how you feel about that? Because I mean, without crying, because I think it's super awesome. Like, it's a rare thing, because I do meet people, and I see a lot of people where their kids get burned out, and I could just I mean, I was always friends with Master Goss, and he has great passion towards the art, and he's a good ambassador for the arts. So what like?
Well, a lot of the credit goes to my wife, because he, you know, as any little kid, you know, they want to play with their friends, or they want to do something, and he would go to the school, and then maybe he'd say to my wife, well, I want to go tonight, John and I, we want to play Nintendo or whatever.
Right.
And,
I was way before Nintendo, so
yeah,
Atari.
I was.
Atari.
I don't think Atari existed yet.
Before
But
Atari.
They
It
would
was
want,
Atari.
They would
Yeah.
want to play or something, and my wife would say to him, okay, you don't have to go tonight, but you're going tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And he would go, and it was like a deal they made. It wasn't like, okay, now the next day he would yammer, because he knew no. And so, you know, like, they have to, parents have to be dedicated. To today, and since I'm an old man, I'm 71, today, parents give their children too much of a choice. Well, he doesn't want to do it anymore. What's a kid know about what he wants to do? All a kid wants to do is have fun. You have to make sure that they're prepared for the future. And you can have fun in martial art. And especially if he wasn't setting the world on fire when he started.
No, sir.
He didn't start doing that till he was about 12, 13 or so. And because he was tall, he always, and taller than all the other kids, he always got ripped off at the tournament. Because he'd be like a head or more taller than everybody else, and some mother would come complain, and they'd move him in a division where the kids were 3 years older than him.
Yes, sir. I did a lot of fighting 12 and 13-year-olds at 8 and 9.
Oh,
I
jeez.
did, yeah.
That's
And you know, he'd have tears in his eyes, and I'd say to him, well, you know, someday they're not going to be able to stick you anywhere.
right.
And that day came, I think, at Dominic Giacobi's tournament out in New Jersey. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Message,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he was 15. You're 15?
15, yes, sir.
And he said, I'm going to fight in the adult division. Nobody
Wow.
asked him what his age was.
But you were all prepped from all of your previous tournaments.
That tournament, I think I fought the adults. I didn't do well fighting. Forms, I took Grand Champion at that
Wow.
one, and it was the same kind of thing.
And that was at Bally's Casino?
I don't remember
One of
where
the
we were.
casinos.
Yeah, it was-
No,
it
I
was
think
a-
it was a school something.
Okay.
I don't
If
remember.
I remember
I don't
correctly.
remember.
But then he had one, he had a trophy from sparring and his Grand Champion trophy, and I walked up to him and I said, well, now there's no place for them to put you.
You know, really, guys, I guess the message here is behind a great martial artist is a great wife. So,
Yes.
Mrs. Goss should have been here too. Hey guys, awesome. I could talk to these guys forever. They're very genuine. They're amazing martial artists, and we're gonna actually have quite a few fun surprises. We have the kimchi challenge. We have the special bonus. Special bonus competition.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, sir. So stay tuned, guys.